Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. Finally, I'm back in the kitchen. I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm going to show you how I make my turkey chili. Great winter meal, almost like a soup. Very, very healthy, and it's a good way to use up some of your old pantry items, your leftover beans from your stock-up sales. So let me show you what I got. I got some ground turkey here. It's about 1.5 pounds. I got for my vegetables, I got some celery, I got a large onion, and I have 3 bell peppers. So in Louisiana cooking, they'd call that's called the Holy Trinity. All right, so I got 2 cloves of garlic. And for my seasoning, I make my own seasoning for chili, but you could buy the packets that are already mixed, and they're really, really great. You don't have to measure anything out if you're not sure. But the main ingredient, obviously, it's chili powder. I got some garlic powder and some cumin. I have some onion powder, some red chili flakes. I got about 1/4 cup of brown sugar to take away a little bit of the heat. Some hot sauce. And then for my canned goods, I have a large can of diced tomatoes. I got a couple different types of beans here. I got black beans. I got 2 cans of red beans. Sometimes I use white also. I just use whatever I have. I have 1 can of corn. And I have 1 can of tomato and green chilies. And that's going to add some spice and a lot of really nice flavor. So those are the ingredients. I'm going to heat up my pot and we'll start by browning up the turkey. All right, so my Dutch oven's nice and hot. I'm going to add a decent amount of olive oil because there's no fat in the turkey. And just drop my turkey meat right in. I'm going to start breaking this up a little bit. And then I'll chop my vegetables while I let this cook. Just some washed celery I had left over, and if you get a really wide one, I'll just cut it in half like that. I want it to be kind of bite-sized, and I'm just going to cut it, leaves and all, into about 1/4 inch dice. So my peppers have already been washed and dried, and I go right along the rib here and just cut down on each side, and then you could cut the rest of it out. You just want to remove the white ribs, and if there's any seeds in there, you can just tap them out. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I want, again, same size as my celery, about 1/4 inch dice, maybe a little bit bigger. And take 1 piece at a time and go right through. I got my bell peppers all cut up. I'm going to show you how I cut my onions. So I cut the ends off first and cut it right down the middle. Here's my paper. And you just want to peel the outer part. Sometimes they don't cooperate. That's okay. Okay. And again, I want to just keep it the same as the rest of my vegetables. It's kind of a flat onion, so I'm just going to do 1 cut almost through to the end, and then I'll just make a couple of cuts down the onion about 1/4 inch. I'll just run my knife down until I get to the end, and when I do get to the end, I'll just turn it over and finish this half. For my garlic, I'm just going to cut the stem end and just tap this a little bit with my knife, and I want to peel off this paper, and when I'm ready to add it, I'm just going to use my garlic press today. Alright, so my vegetables are cut up, and while I was chopping my veggies, I've been stirring my turkey and making sure it was browning up nicely, scraping it off the bottom, and this is ready to go. So at this point, I'm going to add my vegetables right in, my celery, onion, and bell pepper. And I'm also going to add the first bit of seasoning here, which is just salt and pepper. I want a pretty good couple pinches of salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. I'm going to turn the heat up to almost high, and I want to start sweating out these vegetables, let them cook down a little, and release some of their moisture. Alright, so my vegetables look great in here. It smells phenomenal, and it really looks nice with the different colored peppers in there. and they're just starting to get soft. I'm going to add my garlic. You see, this is my garlic press. You just put the garlic in there and squeeze it through, and it smashes it, and then you just take your knife. Alright, I got one more clove. I'll let this cook another 3 or 4 minutes. Alright, this smells really good now. I got the garlic in there. And the next thing I want to add is my brown sugar. And that's going to give it a real wonderful flavor of like just a little bit of sweetness to take away from some of the heat of the chilies and the other spices we're going to put in there. Alright, so I cooked my brown sugar in the chili for just a couple of minutes to get it really melted and caramelized with the meat. And now I'm ready to add both cans of my tomatoes. This is the diced, and then this is the diced with the green chilies. I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then we'll add our spices. Alright, time to add the spices. So I'm going to start with, obviously, the main ingredient, the main spice, which is the chili powder. And I'm just going to eyeball this, but it's roughly 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. Depends on how strong you like it. And I would just recommend that you start with a smaller amount, and you can always add more at the end. I'm going to put some garlic powder, and this is about 1.5 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons, a little bit onion powder, okay, some cumin. I want a good teaspoon of cumin, and some chili flakes. Again, I'll add more later if I need it, but I don't want to go too crazy. I'll add a little bit of hot sauce. And the last thing, the one ingredient I'm missing is paprika. I usually add it, but I don't have any. I'll give this a stir, and we'll let it start to cook down a little bit. So just a couple minutes, and my chili started to boil, and I got really those spices starting to cook away and really give off their color and flavor already. And the last thing I'm going to add is my beans, my black beans and my red beans. And you can see here I washed them. I put them in the strainer and washed them and drained them. And I'm just going to dump them right in. And it's a lot of beans, but I really like them. If you don't want that many, just use less or don't use any at all. You don't have to add the beans whatsoever. But all I'm going to do now is give this a toss. I'm going to put it on low and cover it, and I'm going to simmer it for 1.5 hours. And I'm going to make sure I stir it every 15 minutes or so. I'll check it for seasoning, maybe add some more spices if I think I need it. And last thing we'll add is the corn. Alright, so my chili's been simmering for a little over 1 hour. And last thing I'm going to add to it is just a can of corn. I've drained the water. And what this is going to do is add color and a nice little bit of sweet crunch to the chili. I'll let this cook about another 20 minutes, but really the longer the better. You could simmer it up to another hour if you want. Alright, so my chili's done, and now it's time to try it. And it looks really, really good. Okay, so let me get a nice scoop into my bowl. Alright, and there's a lot of ways you can top this. A lot of times what I like to do is some fresh avocado, cilantro, lime juice on top, but I'm just going to make it real simple today. I just got a Mexican blend of some cheese, and I'm trying to keep it a little bit healthy, so I got some no salt tortilla chips on the side here. I'm just going to dunk one in. You could also put this on top of nachos or a lot of different things, hot dogs. Really, really good. If you like chili and you want to try a nice healthy version, you got to make this turkey chili. It's really, really delicious. And I think that little 1/4 cup of brown sugar really makes the difference. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you try the recipe. Thanks for watching. Look for me on YouTube, Chris Smith, under the description, DiGiovanna Family Recipes. Thanks again.